Like most people who play career mode, I mostly play manager mode. The thing is though, player career mode got a bunch of changes for FC24. Is it actually now a much better mode than manager mode? Well, that's what I'm going to try to figure out in today's video. There are a ton of similarities between the two modes, so we can actually compare things quite easily. But we should probably start off by talking about the best thing that career mode does in general, which of course is rebuilds. As a YouTuber, a lot of my content is rebuilding clubs, but I also think the best thing about player career mode is rebuilding careers. I've done videos where I tried to do this with Anthony Martial and Dele Alli this year, but for FC25, I think you'll actually have a ton of new options. Can you make Manchester United's Anthony or Jadon Sancho win the Ballon d'Or? Could you rebuild Saido Berahino's career, who went from being England's hottest striker prospect to now playing in the Indian second division? Of course, rebuilds can still be done in manager mode. You can even rebuild a player's career in manager mode, but player career mode just gives you a bit more freedom to move around clubs and rebuild the player in the way that you want them to play. We'll talk about the contract system later in this video, but moving clubs inside player career mode is done so much better than the job offers feature in manager mode, and I really can't see why the player agent features aren't also included in manager mode. It's a shame that manager mode doesn't have the same freedom to pick clubs, because maybe Real Madrid would actually be interested in a manager who somehow won 90% of his games in the MLS. As things work right now, that's not even close to a possible move, because the only thing that the job offers page uses is club reputation and the overall rating of the club that you were already at. But will anything actually change in this aspect for FC25? Well, thanks to today's sponsor, you'll be able to find out. G2A are one of the internet's leading marketplaces for game keys, and it's probably the cheapest place to get instant delivery on FC25. In fact, right now, G2A are running a special campaign for new games where you can get big discounts on pre-orders, new releases, and tons more. If you sign up to their newsletter and buy a new game from this page that you're seeing on screen, you'll get a 15% discount to use with G2A. This could be ideal for new FIFA gamers, because if you've enjoyed one of my mega career episodes and want to do one of your own, you can even get a really cheap copy of some of the older FIFA games you might not have played. So check out the link in the description and open the gate to adventure with the discount code that's in the description and also on screen right now. Anyway, let's go back to the title of this video. Is player career mode actually better than manager mode? Well, we already talked about the job offers and how player agent is better than what you get in manager mode, but another thing I really enjoy in player career mode is finishing the last season of some of the biggest legends' careers. If we think about the guys that we've lost since the start of FIFA 23, you can no longer play as Bale, Chiellini and Buffon. In longer term, Ibrahimovic, Hazard, Rooney, there's so many players that have stopped being usable about halfway through the season. This just isn't really the case inside career mode. You've lost a few managers here and there that were playable, but we're talking about managers like Scott Parker, Roy Hodgson, even Jurgen Klopp will eventually come back to the game. These players are all gone and you'll never be able to use them again. The player career mode in FC24 has a few more players that are leaving. Pepe, Cruz, Thiago and Szczesny have all been FIFA favourites on career mode and Ultimate Team, and you can finish their careers right now inside player career mode. Even better, once you do decide to retire, then the game mode just switches to manager mode anyway. You can continue with the same player using their reputation and of course using their real face. You just can't match this in manager mode. There's no way to become Ibrahimovic and start a managerial career once he's retired. And I think this is going to get even cooler on FC25, because some legends are going to be available in player career mode. This means that even if you don't enjoy player career mode, you'll be starting up a couple of these, because you might want to manage as Zidane or Beckham, retire on day one, and then manage as a legend to see if they're as good off the pitch as they were on it. I actually love this part of player career mode, and it's probably the biggest reason why I've started to prefer that mode to manager mode, but while the ideas behind player career mode do make a ton of sense, there are still a few annoying bugs that can ruin your fun. Player contracts are one of the newest features, but they're just too similar to manager objectives, and that really is not a good thing. Some of the targets just straight up make no sense. Let's say that you're playing a final season as Toni Kroos, trying to win one last Champions League and maybe the World Cup. Well, if you wanted to extend your deal, you would expect Toni Kroos would need to make a few assists, maybe score a few goals and contribute to help win a trophy. But the thing is, you won't get these objectives in player career mode. You'll be targeted with winning 20 Player of the Match awards, scoring a dozen volleys or overhead kicks, and these are just things that football clubs don't care about. It doesn't matter if you score an overhead kick, as long as you scored a goal, the club would probably be happy. Of course, this is also a problem with manager mode. I mean, how many times have you been doing some kind of homegrown academy challenge and been told to sign 3 Asians or just get sacked? At least on FC25 we can actually turn objectives off, but it's fair to say that neither part of the game mode is perfect. While there are still a few bugs, there are still a few more things that I actually prefer in player career mode. The first one is progress, and progress of course is a lot faster because you don't have to change tactics, sign players or work on your academy. It's just all action and all matches all the time. You might have to do training once a season, but after that you can skip it and just be on the pitch trying to influence games. You can easily play a full season in just one afternoon. This not only makes your player career mode better, but also eventually makes your manager career mode better when you retire. If you play a few seasons in the player mode, you'll have a totally different set of squads for you to jump into when you retire. Who knows what might have happened in the world of football by 2028? Maybe Lionel Messi's regen has actually chosen Getafe over Barcelona, and Getafe are now La Liga's super club. Or Everton are in League 2, and they really want you to manage them to get them back up to the Premier League. The game can be totally different in just 2 to 3 seasons. These new storylines are only going to make things more fun, and most of the time, player career mode can take what is a good storyline and turn it into a great save. I've already talked about rebuilding a career and finishing a legendary career, but if you're into creating your own player, then the customization of your career is better than Create a Club 2. Maybe you could be a young talent that gets injured early in your player career, you have to retire, and then you rebuild your career as a manager, becoming one of the best of all time. There's so many different ideas that can utilize player career mode that you can't really do just by jumping straight into being a manager. So, overall, I do think that player career mode is the fully more fleshed out game mode of the 2 career mode varieties. While there is probably less to do in player career mode, there's no academy or transfers like we talked about earlier, I think the things that you can do usually have a bit more depth to them than they do in manager mode. For example, the contract system, like we mentioned earlier, is a bit janky, but it does work better than the job offer system. You might also notice that results are a bit more realistic in your player career mode than your manager career mode, because you're only playing as a single person, so you won't change results too much. Storylines are also more fun when it's literally your player against the entire world, rather than you and 25 players in your squad just against a league or a cup competition. I think the main reason I'd say player career mode is better is because there are so many different paths you can go in every single save. If you can just figure out which ones are the best for you, I think you'll always have a fun career mode in player career mode, and I don't think I can say the same for manager mode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Has the player agent system ruined player career mode for you? Could manager mode work better with a personality system like the one in player career mode? Have I somehow said the word mode over 1,000 times in this video alone? Let me know in the comments below. But once again, thanks to G2A for sponsoring this video. Check them out at the link in the description. And if you want to watch the Dele Alli or Anthony Martial videos, click one of these 2 links. And thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.